So let's go on, though, because I want to talk about housing a little bit. So This is from Realtor.com. This is more home listings are paving the way to a buyer-friendly market. Rising inventory, easing competition, and relatively steady prices are creating a more buyer-friendly market compared to last year. We've been talking about this a little bit because of inventory being on the rise. Rates are a little bit better than they were 2 years ago. Not necessarily as much better than they were in 2024, but the sentiment for both buyers and sellers has changed. And there's evidence of this. It sounds crazy to say this because it doesn't feel like, if you read the headlines, you wouldn't think that this is the truth, but the numbers that we're looking at are inventories up, which means sellers are believing that the market can absorb what they're bringing to it, and then buyer applications are up. So they're both up at the same time, even though rates have kind of like neutralized and stayed stable. That to me is that sentiment, not just on the sentiment side being surveyed, but the numbers confirming the sentiment that has been delivered.
One of the things I will say to that is that we've had 3 years of this, cluster F market, and I think, I believe that this has given people enough time to understand the climate of how the market needs to be, handled. And I think that now more than ever, buyers are understanding the worth that they have opposed to the value of the seller. Whereas the seller needs to sell their house, I want to buy it, but I'm not going to buy it under their terms. I can now create an environment where I can negotiate the terms that benefit me a lot more, rather than just throwing a number and playing who can, offer the highest for this property that probably isn't worth it. And then now you have to probably do some work into that as well. The flip side that I see now is that buyers understand that, they know that. So going into, these negotiations, they're a little bit more savvy on the things that they're nitpicking, a little bit more clear on the things that they're choosing. Therefore, I feel they have a little bit more of a leeway to get a good deal from a seller that really needs to sell it, that their house has probably been on the market for quite some time now. They probably don't have many options, and this option looks like the viable one for them. So I think that now sellers are coming around as well to say that, hey, we also got to play ball with these prices and these deals, and we can't just sit on our high horse and expect them to just throw numbers at us and create a bidding war.
Yeah, and there's some evidence that the prices are like slowing, but they're not declining in all areas. There are some places that are in decline. They're not steep or sharp decline, but there's also the type of decline. Like single family housing prices are different than attached. Like detached. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Detached homes have a different price growth and price slowdown than the attached homes do. They have a little bit more of a brakes, hard hit on the brakes on the price growth acceleration. But the point is that the listings and the interest from the buyer demand is happening in parallel. So you have more listings hitting the market at the same time. It's kind of like one begets the other. It's like, oh, there's more people looking to buy a house, so this is a good time to sell.
Let's sell.
And it's like, I need to sell my house. Oh, look, it's creating more buyer demand. So they cycle. Yeah. But here's what I wanted to tell you from this, because this kind of stuck out to me. This is the 83rd straight week of annual inventory gains. Now, to some people, they'll see this as a flashing red light, like, oh, inventory's on the increase for 83 weeks. That means we're going to see massive price declines. Nah, I don't think so. The only thing that you could maybe argue with me that would cause or trigger that is if rates immediately plummet.
Yeah.
If rates plummet, then at the same time that rates plummet and you see inventory increase, then I think that inventory is going to get soaked up. There will be less of it because people are going to be like off the fence super fast and trying to buy.
I literally just had that conversation with the buyer that is looking to purchase out in Arizona, and we were talking about how we don't see a crash in prices, but rather a dip in prices and in homes. But as soon as we see rates drop, that dip comes right back up. So it's a very thin line that you ride if you're looking for a good deal. I told them you literally have to be on shopping every day, or you have to be ready to just move quickly, because in one week to another, rates could drop, all those houses could get flooded with offers, get accepted, and then you're still playing catch up. So I believe, like you were saying, there's going to be pockets of when prices dip, but ultimately in those times they're going to be snagged right back up because rates will dip for a little bit and then come right back up. So
one of the things that I found interesting about this is it's something we talked about last year, and we were talking about median home price and this and that a lot. But one of the things that kind of struck out to me last year was the median list price per square foot. And the reason I said that is because this is going to be a cross section of condos, townhomes, duplex, threeplex, fourplex, or triplex, fourplex, single family homes, all this stuff, mansions, and still even in the last year, median list price per square foot has increased. It's very nominal. It's still 0.8%, basically 1%. It went up from $232 per square foot to $234 a square foot over the last year, which is still an increase. It's statistically insignificant, but it is, I'll say, stable. Until that starts dropping, I don't think you're going to see mass price drops either, because this is like all across all properties, across all areas, property types, sizes even. The price per square foot changing to the decline is actually going to be more of like a little warning sign to me going, okay, then maybe we have something up ahead that we should be looking out for.
Nice. So you're saying basically like if you start seeing square footage drop in price, that's an indicator that prices might be on the way down.
Yeah, or it's a reflection that they have been already.
Yeah.
Not that it's forthcoming, that it's already occurred.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, but the fact that it went from 232 to 234 is telling us in hindsight now that it's still I'll say healthy.
Yeah.
Not that affordability is healthy, just that the prices have stayed despite all of the other conditions and changes around us, even with so much inventory coming up. 83 straight weeks of inventory increase, and the price per square foot is still in the positive. That makes sense. Do you follow me right there?
Yeah, I definitely follow. And I think it goes more to the point where it's like, well, we've been noticing this, and like you're saying, it's staying stable. So at least we know that there's some stability, although we don't like that type of stability, I'd say. We can account that that's something that, is consistent at least. And we can know that prices have been relatively in this price range. So I feel people will get more acclimated to, okay, now this is, how we have to purchase and move into this type of environment.
And the irony of it all is that if there is to be a price decline in rates, whether it's the Fed dropping rates and then the mortgage market following, or international calamity causing rates to go down, it actually will put this in concrete that price per square foot will probably solidify itself and hold for 12, 15, 18, 24 months.
Wow.
Because it's a slower moving target.
Yeah.
It's slower moving than just one segment and type of house, one zip code, one state, or one metropolis and whatever. I like that it's a cross-section across all types of houses, all types of sizes, and across the entire nation. It's a really good barometer from my perspective. So at least for now, you have median list prices are up still, new listings are up, active listings are still up, and time on market isn't really suffering that much. It's not like you're going from 30 days to 60. It's like, average days from 30 to 32. Okay, well,
great. It tanked.
Cool. It's not that bad.
It's such a detailed and precise stat that you noticed, and you would notice that.
Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, right. I'm like